My name is Camille Morgan. I'm 34 years old. And last month, my wealthy sister stole my identity, racked up $150,000 in gambling debt, and then had the audacity to demand that I pay for it. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, someone you loved with everything you had, then you already know this story hurts. You know that sick, twisting feeling in your gut when you realize the person who was supposed to protect you is the one who destroyed you. Before I show you the document that turned my entire life completely upside down, hit like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from. Because no one, and I mean no one, expects the danger to come from inside their own family. You prepare for strangers. You lock your doors against the outside world. But your own blood? The sister who held your hand at your mother's funeral? I trusted her. God, I trusted her with everything. She had money. She had everything she could ever want. But it wasn't enough. She needed more, and she took it from me. She took my name, my credit, my future, and she gambled it all away like it meant nothing. Like I meant nothing. The collectors started calling. The threats started coming. And when I confronted her, when I begged her to explain why, she looked me dead in the eyes and told me it was my responsibility to fix it. My responsibility. As if I had done this to myself. And what she did next is the part that still keeps me awake at night. The part that makes my hands shake with rage even now. Because stealing my identity wasn't enough for her. What she did after that crossed a line I didn't even know existed. I had everything organized. Everything controlled. My bills paid 2 weeks early. My savings growing steadily. My credit score sitting pretty at 783. I was the responsible one. The one who color-coded her calendar and meal prepped on Sundays and never, ever missed a deadline. While I was doing that, my sister Alexis was living her best life in New York City. Penthouse apartment. Designer clothes. Bottle service every weekend. She posted it all on Instagram, like it was some kind of trophy collection. And I was happy for her. I swear I was. She had money from our father's inheritance. She had made smart investments. Or so I thought. I never envied her. I was proud of my quiet, stable life here. I went to work. I came home. I watched my shows. I slept soundly because I knew exactly where I stood in the world. That security died on a Tuesday. 3 missed calls. All from the same unknown New Jersey number. I almost didn't check the voicemail. I almost deleted it, thinking it was spam, another robocall about my car's extended warranty. But something made me listen. Some instinct. Some terrible, crawling feeling in my spine. The voice was professional. Cold. Detached. This message is for Camille Morgan. This is Atlantic Premier Credit calling regarding your outstanding balance of $147,800. You are listed as the guarantor of a gambling line of credit issued to Alexis Morgan. We require immediate contact to discuss payment arrangements. Failure to respond will result in legal action. My hands started shaking before my brain even processed the words. Guarantor. Gambling. $147,000. I didn't gamble. I'd never even been inside a casino. And I sure as hell never signed anything making me responsible for anyone else's debts. Especially not Alexis. She didn't need my help. She had more money than I'd ever see in my lifetime. I called back immediately. My voice cracked when I spoke. The woman on the other end was sympathetic at first, probably used to dealing with panicked people. She asked for my information to verify my identity. Social security number. Date of birth. Address. Everything matched. Ma'am, according to our records, you co-signed this line of credit 3 months ago at the Borgata Hotel Casino in Atlantic City. We have your signature on file, along with your social security number and a copy of your driver's license. I was at work 3 months ago. I've never been to Atlantic City in my entire life. I told her this. I told her there had to be a mistake, that someone had stolen my identity, that this couldn't be real. She said she'd email me the documents. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at my laptop screen as the email loaded. My chest felt tight. My stomach twisted into knots. And then the attachments opened. There it was. My social security number. My driver's license, scanned in crisp, perfect detail, and a signature that looked just enough like mine to be believable, just enough to pass. But I didn't write it. I know my own signature. I know the way I loop my M, the way I cross my T. This was close. But it wasn't mine. Someone had forged it. Someone had stolen my identity, my information, my entire financial life, and used it like a blank check at a casino. And I knew exactly who that someone was. What would you do if someone used your identity like a credit card? If someone you trusted took your name, your social security number, your entire financial reputation, and gambled it away? Tell me in the comments, because I need to know if I'm crazy for what I'm feeling right now. This rage, this betrayal, this absolute, soul-crushing disbelief. I called Alexis 17 times that night. 17 times straight to voicemail. I texted her. I sent her screenshots of the documents. I begged her to call me back, to explain, to tell me this was some horrible mistake. She read every message. I could see the read receipts. And she said nothing. The next morning, I checked my credit score. Something I did once a month, religiously, just to make sure everything was on track. It had dropped 64 points overnight. 64 points. My perfect credit, the one thing I had worked so hard to build, was crumbling. And the collectors were just getting started. Because according to them, according to the paperwork, according to the law, I was responsible for every single dollar Alexis had gambled away. And she knew it. She knew exactly what she was doing when she stole my identity, when she forged my signature, when she made me the guarantor of her self-destruction. My sister didn't just betray me. She buried me. I showed up at Alexis's penthouse unannounced. I didn't call ahead. I didn't text. I just got in my car at 5 in the morning and drove 3 hours straight to Manhattan because I needed to see her face when I confronted her. I needed to watch her try to explain how she destroyed my life. She answered the door in silk pajamas, looking annoyed. Like I was interrupting her beauty sleep. Like I was the inconvenience. I shoved my phone in her face. The documents. The debt collection notices. The forged signature. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely hold the phone steady. Explain this, I said. Explain to me how my social security number ended up on a $147,000 gambling debt. You want to know what she did? She laughed. She actually laughed at me. This cruel, dismissive little chuckle like I was being dramatic. Like I was overreacting to something trivial. Oh, that, she said, waving her hand like she was swatting away a fly. It was just a little fun at the casinos. Don't be so uptight about it, Camille. You always take everything so seriously. A little fun. $147,000. My identity. My credit. My entire financial future. A little fun. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab her by those expensive silk pajamas and shake her until she understood what she had done to me. But I kept my voice steady.
Barely.
You forged my signature, I said. You used my social security number. You made me legally responsible for your gambling addiction. She rolled her eyes like I was being a nuisance. I needed the credit line, and you weren't using yours. What's the big deal? You don't even go out. You don't do anything with your money. You just sit there hoarding it like some kind of miser. That's when she hit me with it. The part that still makes my blood boil. You need to pay $10,000 a month, she said. Matter of fact. Like she was telling me my cable bill was due. I can't afford it right now. My investments are tied up. You'll have to cover it until I get liquid again. I stared at her. I couldn't even form words. She had stolen my identity, ruined my credit, put me on the hook for 6 figures of debt, and now she was demanding I pay for it. Like it was my obligation. Like I owed her. You're insane, I finally said. I'm not paying a single cent of your debt. You did this. You fix it. She shrugged. Then the collectors will come after you. Your choice. I left. I drove back home in a blind rage, crying so hard I had to pull over twice because I couldn't see the road. And when I got home, I did what I should have done first. I called our parents. They already knew.
They
already
knew.
For 3 months, they had known what Alexis did to me. 3 months. And they said nothing. They warned no one. They protected her while I walked around completely unaware that my entire life was about to implode. "We didn't want to upset you," my mother said. Her voice was soft. Apologetic. But not apologetic enough. "We thought Alexis would handle it before it became a real problem," my father added. "She promised she would take care of it. Take care of it." She took care of it by demanding I pay $10,000 a month for her gambling addiction. "Why didn't you tell me?" I was sobbing now. Completely broken. "Why didn't you warn me?" Silence. Then my mother said the words that shattered whatever was left of my heart. "She's been struggling, Camille. She needs support right now. We didn't want to make things harder for her." Make things harder for her. What about me? What about what she did to me? But I already knew the answer. Alexis was the golden child. The favorite. The one who could do no wrong. And I was the reliable one. The strong one. The one who could handle anything. Even being sacrificed. Is protecting one child worth sacrificing the other? Drop your verdict below. Guilty or not guilty. Because I need to know if I'm the crazy one here. If I'm wrong for feeling like my entire family just threw me under the bus to save her. The next morning, I woke up to an email. Subject line: wage garnishment notice. They were coming for my paycheck. They were going to take the money directly from my salary. The money I earned. The money I worked for. Because Alexis decided to gamble away my future, and no one in my family thought I deserved to know. The phone calls started immediately after I told my parents I wasn't paying Alexis's debt. Not apologetic calls. Not supportive calls. Attack calls. My mother called first. Her voice was sharp, accusing. Like I had done something wrong. "How can you be so heartless?" she said. "Your sister is going through a difficult time. She needs help, not judgment. And you're just going to abandon her?" Abandon her. As if I was the one who had committed fraud. As if I was the one who had stolen someone's identity and gambled away their future. But in their eyes, I was the villain. Because I refused to be the sacrificial lamb. Because I had the audacity to protect myself. My father called next. Same script. Different tone. Disappointed instead of angry. Somehow that hurt worse. "We raised you better than this, Camille. Family takes care of family. Your sister made a mistake, but you're making it worse by refusing to help her. What kind of person does that make you? What kind of person does that make me? What kind of person steals their sister's identity? What kind of parents hide that betrayal for 3 months?" I asked him that. I asked him point blank. He hung up on me. Then came the texts. From aunts. From cousins. From family friends who had been fed some twisted version of the story where I was the heartless monster refusing to help my struggling sister. They didn't know she had forged my signature. They didn't know she had committed fraud. They just knew that Alexis was in trouble and I wasn't bailing her out. And that made me the bad guy. I was being gaslit by my entire family. Made to feel guilty for being the victim. Made to feel selfish for refusing to destroy my own life to save hers. But I was done. I was done protecting people who wouldn't protect me. I was done being the reliable one, the strong one, the one who was expected to absorb everyone else's damage without complaint. I had to protect myself. Because no one else was going to. I froze my credit with all 3 bureaus. I changed every password on every account I had. I locked down my bank accounts, my email, my phone records. Everything. Because if Alexis had stolen my identity once, she could do it again. And I wasn't going to give her the chance. Then I did the thing I never thought I would have to do. I went to the police station and filed a report for identity theft. The officer who took my statement was kind. Middle-aged woman with tired eyes. She listened to everything. The forged documents. The casino debt. My sister's name. My parents' complicity. When I finished, she leaned back in her chair and studied me for a long moment. "You understand what this means, right?" she said gently. "If we pursue charges, your sister could face serious consequences. Fraud. Identity theft. These are felonies. She could lose her job. Her reputation. She could go to prison." I felt the weight of that settle on my chest like a stone. Prison. My sister. The golden child. The favorite. The one my parents would do anything to protect. Are you sure you want to do this? The officer asked. And here's the thing that makes me so angry I can barely breathe when I think about it. I shouldn't have had to hesitate. I shouldn't have felt guilty. She committed a crime. Against me. She ruined my credit, stole my identity, put me on the hook for 6 figures of debt, and then demanded I pay for it. But I hesitated, because even after everything, I still felt responsible for protecting her. Because that's what I had been trained to do my entire life. Put her first. Put everyone else first. Sacrifice myself so they could be comfortable. Yes, I said finally. I'm sure. The officer nodded and started the paperwork. I filed a report. I gave them everything. The forged documents. The casino records. The email chains. All of it. Most of us trust our families with everything. Our secrets. Our social security numbers. Our financial information. But should we? Should we assume that blood means loyalty? That family means safety? Subscribe so you never miss a warning like this. Because I never thought I'd need one. And now my entire life is in ruins because I trusted the wrong person. 2 days after I filed the report, I got a call from the fraud department at my bank. They had flagged some suspicious activity on my credit report during their investigation. Alexis had opened multiple accounts in my name. The casino debt was just the one that had been discovered. The one that had blown up in my face. But there were others. Credit cards. Lines of credit. Personal loans. How many? They couldn't say yet. The investigation was ongoing. But they confirmed one. A credit card with a $15,000 limit. Maxed out. 6 months of missed payments. Already in collections. One confirmed. So far. And I couldn't help but wonder, as I sat there staring at the email with my hands shaking and my heart pounding, how many more were out there? How many times had she used my name, my identity, my life as her personal piggy bank? How deep did this betrayal go? And how much more of me was she going to destroy before it was over? The email came on a Thursday morning. Subject line, Case Resolution Update. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely click it open. 3 weeks of investigation. 3 weeks of sleepless nights wondering how much more damage Alexis had done. 3 weeks of my family screaming at me that I was ruining everything. And then I read it. After thorough investigation, we have determined that the gambling line of credit and associated accounts were opened fraudulently using your identity, without your knowledge or consent. The debt has been removed from your credit report and is no longer your legal responsibility. I read it again, and again, and again, because I couldn't believe it. The debt was gone. $147,000. Gone. Not my problem anymore. Not my responsibility. Not my burden to carry. I cried. Right there at my kitchen table with my laptop open. I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. Relief. Rage. Exhaustion. Everything I'd been holding in for weeks came pouring out. The investigators confirmed everything. Forged signature. Stolen identity. Fraudulent documents. They had security footage from the casino showing Alexis presenting my driver's license. They had handwriting analysis proving the signature wasn't mine. They had everything. For the first time in a month, I could breathe. But Alexis? She couldn't. Because fraud investigators don't just clear your name. They build a case. And that case was now sitting on a prosecutor's desk with Alexis's name all over it. I thought maybe, just maybe, she would apologize. Maybe she would realize the magnitude of what she had done and feel even a shred of remorse. Instead, she sent a lawyer. A letter arrived at my door. Certified mail. Legal letterhead. Threatening language about defamation, family harassment, and emotional distress. Her attorney claimed I was maliciously pursuing charges to damage her reputation. That I was using the legal system as a weapon against my own sister. I laughed when I read it. A bitter, hollow laugh. She stole my identity, destroyed my credit, put me in financial ruin, and somehow I was the one weaponizing the system? The audacity. The absolute delusional audacity. But it didn't stop there. My parents called. Again. This time it wasn't just disappointment or guilt trips. It was full-blown rage. "You're destroying this family," my mother screamed. Actually screamed. I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "Do you understand what you've done? Alexis could lose everything.
Her job.
Her apartment. Her entire future. And for what? Because you couldn't just help her through a rough patch." A rough patch. That's what they were calling it now. A rough patch. Not fraud. Not identity theft. Not a felony crime that she committed against me deliberately and without remorse. My father joined in. "You've gone too far, Camille. We didn't raise you to be vindictive, to be cruel. You need to drop these charges immediately and work this out as a family." Work it out as a family. As if we were arguing over who gets grandma's china, not the fact that one sister committed a federal crime against the other. "She forged my signature," I said, my voice shaking with rage. "She stole my identity. She put me $147,000 in debt. And you want me to drop the charges?" "She's your sister," my mother said, like that explained everything. Like shared DNA meant I should absorb her destruction without complaint. "And I'm your daughter," I shot back. "But apparently that doesn't mean anything to you." Silence. Then my father spoke, his voice cold and final. "If you go through with this, don't bother coming home for the holidays. You won't be welcome." He hung up. My own parents.
Disown me.
For refusing to let my sister destroy my life. Comment yes if you think I'm doing the right thing. Or tell me what you would do different. Because I need to know if I'm crazy here. If standing up for myself, protecting my future, refusing to be a victim makes me the villain in this story. Tell me. Because my entire family thinks it does. That night, I was washing dishes when I heard it. Loud, desperate pounding on my front door. Not knocking. Pounding. Like someone was trying to break it down. I froze. My heart hammered in my chest. It was almost 10 at night. Nobody just shows up at 10 at night. The pounding continued. Then I heard her voice. "Camille. Camille, please. Open the door." "Alexis." She was crying.
Sobbing.
Her voice broken and desperate in a way I'd never heard before. Not when our grandmother died. Not when her first serious boyfriend left her. Never like this. "Please, Camille. I need to talk to you. Please." I stood there in my kitchen, dish soap dripping from my hands, staring at that door like it was a bomb about to explode. Part of me wanted to open it. Wanted to hear what she had to say. Wanted to believe that maybe, finally, she understood what she had done. But another part of me, the part that had been burned and betrayed and gaslit for weeks, knew better. She wasn't here to apologize. She was here because she was desperate. Because the walls were closing in. Because for the first time in her privileged, golden child life, there were consequences. And she needed me to save her. Again. I opened the door.
I don't know why.
Maybe I'm a fool. Maybe some part of me still wanted to believe my sister had a soul. That somewhere underneath all the entitlement and manipulation, there was still the girl who used to braid my hair when we were kids. She looked destroyed. Mascara streaked down her face. Hair tangled. She wasn't wearing her designer clothes. Just a wrinkled t-shirt and jeans. I'd never seen her look so broken. "Thank you," she whispered, stepping inside before I could change my mind. "Thank you for letting me in." She sat on my couch and put her face in her hands. Her whole body shook with sobs. And for just a second, I felt sorry for her. Just a second. "They took everything," she said between gasps. "The bank froze my accounts. My car got repossessed yesterday. They're investigating me at work. My boss said if charges are filed, I'm done.
Fired.
My reputation destroyed. Everything I built, Camille. Everything is gone. Everything she built. On lies. On fraud. On my stolen identity. You did this to yourself," I said quietly. My voice was steady. Cold. "You stole from me, Alexis. You destroyed my credit. You could have destroyed my entire life. And now you're upset because there are consequences." She looked up at me with red, swollen eyes. I made a mistake. I know that. I was desperate. The gambling got out of control, and I didn't know what else to do. So, you committed fraud against your own sister? I thought I could fix it before you found out, she screamed. I thought I could win it back. I thought it would be okay. Win it back. That's what gamblers always say, isn't it? Just one more hand. Just one more bet. I thought I could fix it. I need your help, she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. Please. I need you to tell them it was a misunderstanding. That you gave me permission. That this was all just a mistake. I stared at her. She wanted me to lie. To commit perjury. To tell investigators that I had willingly signed over my identity to her so she could gamble away 6 figures. She wanted me to save her by destroying myself. No, I said. Camille, please. No, I shouted. No more. I am not your safety net anymore. I am not the backup plan. I am not the one who sacrifices everything so you can keep living your perfect little life without consequences. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Good. Let her feel something. Let her understand what it's like to be hurt by someone you trusted. I have nothing left, she whispered. I'm bankrupt. I'm going to lose my apartment. I might go to jail. You're my sister. You're supposed to help me. And you were supposed to protect me, I said. But you didn't. You used me. You threw me away like I was nothing. So no, Alexis. I'm not helping you. Not this time. Not ever again. She stood up, and for a moment I thought she would leave. Finally accept that she had burned this bridge beyond repair. But then her face changed. The tears stopped. Her expression went cold and calculated. And I knew she had one more card to play. There's another one, she said. My blood went cold. Another what? Another debt. Another account. I opened it 6 months ago. $80,000. Personal loan. Your name. Your social security number. Your signature. The room spun. I couldn't breathe. 80,000 more. 6 months ago. Before the casino debt. Before any of this exploded. It's still active, she continued, her voice flat now. Clinical. The creditor doesn't know about the fraud investigation yet. They think you're the one who took out the loan. And if you don't pay, they're coming after you next. You're lying, I said, but my voice shook because I knew she wasn't. I'm not. Check your credit report. It's there. Hidden. Buried under a different creditor name. But it's there. And they're going to call you. Soon. She walked to the door and turned back one last time. You should have helped me when you had the chance, Camille. Now you're stuck in this just like I am. And she left. I stood there in my living room, paralyzed. $80,000. Another debt. Another bomb waiting to explode in my face. How many more were there? How many times had she used me as her personal ATM? And what I discovered next is the part no one in this family will ever forget. Because this wasn't just about debt anymore. This was about how far someone will go to save themselves. Even if it means destroying everyone around them. My phone rang. Unknown number. California area code. I answered it with shaking hands. Is this Camille Elizabeth Morgan? A man's voice asked. Professional. Firm. He used my full legal name. My middle name. The one I never use. The one that only appears on official documents. Yes, I whispered. This is Coastal Credit Solutions calling regarding your outstanding balance of $81,417. We've been trying to reach you for several weeks regarding your payment arrangements. Alexis hadn't lied. The nightmare wasn't over. It was just beginning. It took 8 months to clear everything. 8 months of lawyers, fraud investigators, credit bureaus, and sleepless nights. 8 months of documentation, disputes, and police reports. 8 months of my family treating me like I was the criminal while Alexis played the victim. But I did it. Every fraudulent account closed. Every false debt removed. My credit score slowly climbing back up from the wreckage. And finally, I could breathe again. I moved. Got a new apartment across town where nobody knew my story. Where I didn't have to explain why my sister's face made me feel sick. where I could start over without the ghosts of betrayal haunting every corner. My new place is small.
Quiet. Mine.
I painted the walls myself. Bought furniture I actually liked instead of hand-me-downs. Created a space that felt safe. Because safety isn't something you're born into. It's something you build. With boundaries. With distance. With the word no. And I learned to say that word. Over and over. No, I won't drop the charges. No, I won't lie for you. No, I won't sacrifice myself to make you comfortable.
No.
It's a powerful word when you finally give yourself permission to use it. Alexis went through hell. I won't lie and say I felt bad about it. She pleaded guilty to identity theft and fraud. The judge was surprisingly lenient. Probation, restitution, community service. No jail time because she had no prior record and showed, according to her lawyer, genuine remorse. I wasn't there for the sentencing. I didn't need to see her cry in front of a judge. I'd already seen enough of her tears. They didn't mean anything anymore. But something changed after that. She actually got help. Real help. She checked herself into therapy. Started going to Gamblers Anonymous meetings. Sold everything she had left to pay back what she could. And for the first time in her life, she stopped running from consequences. I didn't forgive her.
I want to be clear about that.
Forgiveness isn't something you owe people just because they finally decide to fix themselves after burning your life down. But I stopped hating her. And sometimes, that's the best you can do. My parents reached out eventually. 6 months after everything fell apart. Not with an apology. Not at first. Just a tentative text message asking if we could talk. We met at a coffee shop. Neutral territory. They looked older. Tired. My mother's hands shook when she held her cup. We should have protected you, she said finally. The words came out slow, like they hurt to say. We were so focused on fixing Alexis that we forgot you were hurt too. We forgot you were the victim. And that was wrong. It wasn't enough. Not really. But it was something. A crack in the wall they'd built to protect their golden child at my expense. I need you to understand something, I said. I will never put someone else's comfort above my own safety again. Not for family. Not for anyone. If that makes me selfish, then I'm selfish. But I'm done being the one who gets sacrificed. My father nodded. We understand. And we're sorry we ever made you feel like you had to be.
We're working on it. Slowly. Carefully.
With boundaries so strong they could hold back an ocean. Sunday dinners every few weeks. Surface-level conversations. Nothing deep. Nothing that requires me to be vulnerable with people who failed to protect me when it mattered most. It's not perfect, but it's honest. And sometimes that's better than the fake peace we had before. I celebrated my 35th birthday last month. Alone. By choice. I ordered takeout, watched movies I'd been meaning to see, and went to bed early. And it was perfect. Because I didn't need anyone's permission to enjoy my own life anymore. I didn't need validation. I didn't need approval. I just needed me. And that was enough. People ask me sometimes if I regret how I handled it. If I wish I'd just paid the debt and kept the family peace. If the cost was worth it. And here's what I tell them. I sleep at night now. I wake up without dread. I look at my bank account without fear. I exist in the world knowing that I fought for myself when no one else would. That I chose me. So no, I don't regret it. Not for a second. But just when I thought the nightmare was finally over, the calls started again. Different creditor. Different amount. Different account. Another identity theft. Opened last month. Someone used my social security number, my address, my information to open a line of credit. $32,000. Already maxed out. Already delinquent. But this time, it wasn't my sister. The security footage showed someone else. Someone I didn't recognize. The signature was different. The pattern was different. Everything was different. Someone else had my information. Someone else was using my identity. And I had no idea who, or how they got it, or what else they'd already done with my name. If you'd protect yourself like I did, if you'd fight for yourself the way I had to fight, then subscribe. Because this story isn't over. And what comes next? You're not going to believe it. And if you still won't subscribe, comment why. Tell me what's stopping you. Because I'm listening. I'm here. And I want to know. But one thing I know for sure. Whoever did this, they picked the wrong person to mess with. I've already survived one identity thief. I can survive another.